than they do. I'm in District 1 with James Giveaway Tate, and the people won't punish him. This is a man who voted for a consent agreement, and he's still walking around comfortable. I don't get it. I don't get it. You got people taxing themselves an additional $250 for property taxes for mosquito abatement and security. Come on, Mildred Gaddis. In the city of Detroit, where we have a snow removal plan, is Mother Nature. Come on. And the thing of it is, I'm going to say this. I just want you to think about what I'm saying. It's bad for all urban cities in Michigan and even black cities in the suburbs. Look at Southfield. Southfield is now 85% black. And what they don't realize is when the white flight happened in Southfield, they stopped investing in this infrastructure. So now those people, the new people who moved in, will be saddled with high cost of living because you got to prepare your roads, you got to take care of the water system. They divested themselves from infrastructure. They did the same thing at East Point, and they shifted in Negroes into East Point, and they divested in infrastructure. So when the new people move in, i.e. black folks or working class folks who move into those structures, now they have to tax themselves to death in order just to maintain. So the thing of it is, until we understand it is a class, it's a warfare on class, until we understand it's more of us than it is of them, and it's more of the working classes versus the oligarchs, then we get nothing. Right now, the working classes in America, and let alone Detroit, we are one or two moves away from checkmate. Look at the cost of living on the poor folks in Detroit. We are the poorest folks in the nation, and we had no natural disasters.
Steve? What is Steve? Steve?
Yes.
Okay, he's still there. All right, we'll get a response.
Well, I mean, first thing I can say, I mean, there was a lot there, but I mean, the first thing I can say is that if we had people as passionate as he is about those issues, we would have a lot more people voting against people like Councilman Tate, who supported the consent agreement. There was just so many issues there. I mean, and I agree with a lot of what he's saying. We always talk about this Trump effect, that people are becoming more politically active and astute after what happened with Donald Trump. This somehow didn't translate to more interesting, more passionate, new people running for local office. So, I mean, there's all these other concerns about that. The issue with the election, counting, that's going to be a big problem. It's just unfortunate. Janice Winfrey does not belong there. I've called for her resignation. The city's getting new machines, but the machines were only a small part of the problem. Human error was a big part of the problem, and that was because the workers weren't trained properly. So that's a big concern. And people question why Detroit has such a low turnout. Well, if they don't think their vote's going to count, why waste time waiting in line a lot longer than people in the suburbs are going to be waiting in line to cast a ballot that you don't know if it's going to count? So, I mean, those are all legitimate questions, and these are the things that our elected officials need to be talking to us about and assuring us that this is never, ever, ever going to happen again.
I mean, with Steve, I hear a lot of strength. And I always tell community members who are feeling the same way Steve has been obviously feeling, and everything he said was true. And that's the thing. We have a lot of passion in our city. But mayors come and go, city councilmen come and go, state reps come and go, but our neighborhoods don't go anywhere. And we need to start really localizing our civic engagement efforts, from putting our own ballot initiatives on the city ballot, from recruiting people so that Tate does have somebody running against him that could actually, possibly hold him accountable. Because sometimes even just running isn't about winning, but maybe showing that they're vulnerable, that the way they've been proceeding is not reflective of the opinions and the beliefs of the district. So it's also about recruiting people so that they can have choice. I really believe, I think we're going to see more and more changes at the local level, because so many of us, we worked on council by district, we thought that was going to change everything. It didn't. It didn't change
Wait,
much.
you know what?
I'm telling you, Miss Gaddis, it didn't change much. They all vote like together like soldiers.
You know, I was the person who said it doesn't matter. It doesn't make sense. Why do you need these councilmen by district? Because control is control is control. Allegiance is allegiance is allegiance. And if you elect the kind of official who is not going to be responsive to its constituents, it doesn't matter if it's at large, because if you're at large, you're still responsible for the citizens in the city of Detroit. Or if you're in a district, everybody kept saying, no, you got this thing wrong. Years ago, Detroit it has not. You're correct. It has not made a difference.
I do believe council by district has a way for accountability to happen because it's so much more centralized. So I have a little, Ms. Gaddis, I have hope. I don't think it's going to be instant.
So the answer to that is you have to elect the right people.
But we also have to recruit people.
I think recruit and train.
Absolutely. Recruit and train about service politics, about how this is about direct services, how this is about changing the culture. Look, I hear residents tell me all the time about how they could be in their basement. They walk down in a neighbor's basement, and there's Mayor Coleman Young sitting around a circle talking about things that are going on in the city and how that is accessible and how, yes, though, there were some issues and challenges, but people felt heard. They felt respected. It's painful watching residents feel hurt and pain when they get let down, because it makes it harder for them to get out and vote again. It makes them harder to get out there and understand, like, am I crazy? Why did he vote that way? What's going on here? And so it is an extremely painful and just roller coaster that a lot of us are feeling. But look, I'm hopeful that at some point we're going to see a much, much better organized, funded movement at the local level to move that, because poverty is just increasing right now, Ms. Gaddis. The income
and that's most unfortunate
inequality that is happening in our neighborhood is more than it ever has been. And people don't believe you because they only go downtown and Midtown or Cass Corridor area. That's all they see. But it's not. Just go down Tireman, go down the east side, go down any of the neighborhoods. People's income is lower. People's in the water shut off. Oh, that's not a crisis. Oh, now Henry Ford is telling us if my neighbor gets their water shut off, guess what, Miss Mildred? My 2 boys could be impacted, could get stomach illnesses and so forth. It impacts all of us. I just think that there's this centralized, let's just focus on this. It looks pretty, change the narrative. And everybody kept saying it's about the narrative. Well, the Detroit narrative has changed, and it still has not increased or dealt with the economic inequality in our city right now.
Your station for News Talk in Detroit.